we do owe that $1,500, they said. That was.
This is the first time they've invoiced for it though, right?
Yes,
This
it
isn't,
is.
I haven't gotten any of
No,
it, so that's
I
what
haven't heard anything about it. She said once we pay that
A year and a
1,500,
half
it was our
ago.
deductible. She said once we pay that, she said it'll be
The
the
fluid waste thing, they just billed for it
Uh-huh.
like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Our deductible on the pump was $1,500. Shouldn't be $1,000. Was $1,500, our deductible was $1,000.
I don't know.
Why? You should ask, because our deductible's $1,000, has been forever. Well, I don't know why that would be any different.
So, insurance is down with some more reduced liabilities, I guess. So 45 will cover that.
so,
Whenever we paid a deductible, where do we pull it from?
insurance right here.
So there's enough left in here for, say,
Yeah, and it did,
how many incidents a year was that?
Well,
So this
and
this
that amount-
9,200, is that?
that amount includes, this amount that's left will include, like we pay our insurance for next year, it will come out of this year. We'll pay it in December and it will come out.
So this 9,200,
Like, we get our.
so our insurance is really only like 39 grand. Is that what you're saying? And then we've had other expenditures
Yeah.
with, okay. So 45, makes sense.
We'll get our deductible back on
Yeah.
the light bulb,
On the light
since
bulb.
it was weather, or after God.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
so as soon as I get all that paperwork, when they get it done, I send that in, and then we'll get that back.
As long as we fix it, when it's an active out thing, we get our deductible back.
So what is, office supplies increase?
That was the printer,
Okay.
that was where the printer was, I was amending for the printer.
So if we just buy one now,
It'll come out of
Adjust
just, yeah,
just it down.
yeah.
Okay. Printing the 400, that should still cover all our
Mhm.
stuff, right? And that's separate from festival printing, right? That'd be
Yeah,
like-
this is actually printing,
Legal ads.
legal ads and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
okay. Animal shelter.
Have you actually put anything in a cage up there? since-
No, it's cool, because it's a good thing we built it. You know, it's kinda like if you don't mow your yard, it will rain.
Yeah,
I understand.
and when we didn't have it, we needed it.
But the 500, I mean,
We can take that down.
you could lower it. I mean, the only thing we would buy now, which I still have some out there, but at some point the next animal we get, you know, I've got some dog food out there. I've got that metal inside the barn plant. But, you know, like I bought animal wormer before, but I still have some in the desk out there where the dog food's at, but
So we
there's
could
nothing.
actually take that down then probably, right?
I mean,
You
the only
know-
expense I can see you guys buying would be like a $30 bag of dog food. I mean, unless you're gonna use that for the Humane Society or something, you don't even really need it. I mean, there's nothing to do.
But if we don't have it, like you said, when we didn't have the kennel, take,
Maybe take it down to
Well-
250?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
Even
good.
100.
Yeah,
I mean,
150?
100. We're not even gonna use it.
going once, going twice.
Twice.
You know, it used to be more when we
Let's do
had.
150 then, maybe?
Oh, make it,
100?
make it even 100.
Yeah,
Even
let's take-
100?
take-
Okay.
You used to, you know, we used to have it more because we had that agreement with the Humane Society. Which they don't do it anymore.
Okay, so we'll take that down to 100.
Yeah.
All right, telephone, we're in the hole just a little bit because, or we will be because of our new phones, so I bumped that up. Electric, it, you know, kept it the same, just looking, gas, that's for like the mowers and whatnot.
I was thinking natural gas when I saw gas.
Yeah, it was too, plus I'll eat.
It's been nice for years, I could change it
I
for.
didn't know that's what it was for though.
And then heat is our bathroom. Maintenance and repairs. It's up to you guys, we could bump that up, whatever, it's been 5,000 forever.
That's like the buildings and stuff. I mean, it's not
What's
repairs, it's not repairs to vehicles, it's like,
what's, in your estimate, Andy, what needs to be done, over at the garage? Is it, I heard that the garage isn't complete.
it's just storage though, now. I mean,
There's nothing more that you have to do.
now we're in the new building, so the old building is just storage. Of course, we'll still do the festival boxes over there, but we're migrating all the equipment over here.
Is there anything we need to do to the fire barn? As far as,
No,
carpet or something like that? I mean, I don't know.
no,
Nothing in the bay we have to do to.
no. I mean, I did some little stuff, bought some shelving and stuff like that, but no. We're, pretty good. Just moving the
Somebody coming out of the fire barn now.
Andy.
Well, if you're going down, there's, the EMS contract, we had budgeted it high. I just put a little extra in there last year, you know, we kept at 34. I talked to Robin, she said it is going to go up, but still the 34 is gonna cover it. So I think we're fine there. Miscellaneous, put 10,000 in there. Of course, we don't have a fire truck anymore.
Have we spent out of miscellaneous, or
No.
like this year, we haven't spent anything?
No.
Last year, did we spend anything?
No, so, and then the, buildings is, there's 16,000 there, we put that in last year, we haven't
So,
used that.
buildings is what you would budget a major
Okay.
repair, is that right? And then repairs and maintenance is little
Light
light
bulbs.
bulbs and
Yeah,
Furnace,
carpet cleaning
Exactly.
versus you would put carpet in building.
right,
furnace filters.
yeah.
Well, there's an idea that's bounced around in the past that I really like, but I'm not sure that people would go for it, which is to also move our town hall to that building. It would require a little bit of work to be done to it to make that happen. If that's not a possibility or nobody's even interested in entertaining that idea,
No, I'm not.
then this building needs some work.
Yeah,
It's time for carpet, it's time to figure out how to do a good bathroom in here. It's,
I agree. I think this building needs to be, you know, some work done in here, but as far as over there, I'm not in favor of that because I used to work under that. We had our town hall, you know, we had our shop in the back of town hall and where we're beating on stuff and pounding and grinding and everything else, and people were in the building trying to, you know, work down business, and you got vehicles running and fumes were going, and it just, that's a reason, big part of the reason that council moved us out and built that building out there outside of town was to get us out of there because of all the issues it was creating with us back there behind the utility office. But I do agree, I think, you know, I said this a long time ago, I think that the office that's open here ought to be enclosed to where they can close.
it's supposed to be.
We're gonna
by
get,
law.
we're gonna get dinged. I mean, we've been dinged on the last 2 audits. It's supposed to be
I
enclosed.
think we need to appropriate the money to, you know, and come up with some ideas of what we need to do here and get started.
I mean, we're a public building, we don't even have, technically, there's no EDA anything here.
Back years ago, I was in charge of ADA down there when they come out and started bringing that back to the municipality's attention, and you're supposed to have ADA compliant doors, bathrooms and everything, and if you have a water fountain, ADA compliant water faucet fountains and sinks, the handles and everything is where they can get in underneath the sinks with a wheelchair and different things. So I agree, I think we need to, you know, to do something with that, for sure.
How do we access the
Access
closet?
Yeah, put a lock on it, you know. I mean, nobody's gonna, it's not like somebody's
Should we
gonna do
leave
that.
the window?
Yeah, that'd be entertaining. We can wave at everybody. No, it really would make a nice bathroom. I mean, and make it look good. I mean, get rid of this marble wall, build a new wall all the way through there, get rid of that window. You can have that door swing in to the right, so if somebody did go in there, I mean, you open the door, you'll see nothing. But there's plenty of room. I mean, for it to be truly ADA compliant, you need to have a 60-inch unobstructed turning radius. So you could have a sink, you know, wall-mounted compliant sink, and a toilet. It's nice. And really,
You're fine.
Come on in.
I mean, you got a couple options back here. You can turn this bathroom just into a closet, or you could have a mop sink in there and shelves that you could get. Because right now, all those cleaning supplies, the toilet paper and all that stuff is in the safe, so you can move it. Move it over here.
Or you can leave that one as a restroom for employees if they want to
Yeah,
do
that's
one
a good idea.
separate than, you know, the public restroom. Kind of down at RKS what they did, you know, they got
The pee
public
closet's
bathrooms.
pretty
I
bad.
imagine being one of these buildings.
I said the pee closet's pretty bad.
I'll attest to that.
It's like this big.
Are we
I mean, it
required
would
to?
make it nice having more room in the safe, because we are getting pretty full in there as far as our records and stuff. I know eventually we need to start destroying records, but there is, I mean,
How long are you gonna keep stuff?
well, it
Certain
depends.
things-
There's a retention schedule.
Certain stuff is forever. Certain things, like, one thing we could get rid of a lot of, I know, it's only like, I think it's only 3 years, is all our old utility cards, billing,
Yeah.
everything for the you know, water bills and stuff, but I think it's the same as mine. I gotta keep everything for 3 years.
Where do you keep your reports and monthly reports and things for water and sewer?
My office. I always have any, when I was in here, I do, cause what I do, I put them all in binders, so then as the year falls, I've maintained 3 years, but I don't count the year that I'm in.
Yeah,
So I just purged 17.
yeah.
Yeah.
I inquired about that down at work because there's stuff in that file cabinet down there from when I started 40 years ago. And they
Yeah.
said you can destroy all of them in 3 years, but if anything ever comes up, back to that, it's your responsibility to prove and have documentation that they're not held accountable for anything that
now
they
the
would
state-
want to bring
yeah,
up.
but now the state-
So it's one of them deals.
You wouldn't have your bench sheets, but the state keeps, you know, it's a virtual file cabinet now.
Yeah,
And you
they
can go
do
on the
now.
state- Yeah, you can go on the state website now and see all my AMROs, DMRs, water reports, water testing, CCR, I mean, all that stuff.
I have a situation now where a utility customer, it's Max Alvarez, called and he sold his property up on 296th Street. Well, he's wanting his meter deposit back, and he says it's $75.
No, it's not.
I said, well, of course, I looked in his account, and they bought that like in 1984.
$15.
And I said, Max, there was there was no record of it.
No.
And so I said, Max, I'm gonna have to do some digging. I said, but I'm sure it's not 75 because, I mean, and he's like, well, I know it was $75. And so, and I mean, Fred and I paid a $25 meter deposit when we lived on Central Street. You know,
Right.
it's recorded in there. That was, what, 30 years ago? You know, so I'm gonna have to try and dig back and see if I can find some.
Worst case scenario is getting 25, but I mean, all you gotta do is go back through they're all in there, you just gotta go back through the old ordinance.
Yeah,
It changed
that's what I was gonna do.
by ordinance,
Yeah,
but I think it was 15.
I don't know.
Now, could you alleviate some of this storage to the old utilities building? If that's where I mean, some of the stuff that's stored here and free up space in the safe by moving it to the old.
The only thing is, a lot of it is, you know, well, I guess the older stuff,
I mean, the only thing is, that's a vault.
that's,
Yeah.
The building burns down, it's still there. The other building burns down, it's gone. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me.
I mean, if there's room, you know.
I don't know. I mean, for the day-to-day stuff, if we could free up space in here Just a thought.
climate control too.
I
Okay,
mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be gotten rid of. I mean, Robin did it from Helen and kept the critical stuff, but she always kept everything while she was here. So I mean,
yeah,
there's like 20 years worth of stuff that probably half of it could go.
you have to go through the county, and the county has to approve your destroying it.
Oh,
You
really?
have to- Yeah, you have to fill out. So it's not just a process of, oh, I don't want this, I'll take this, I'll shred this, yeah.
Do it allow you to shred it and get rid of it, or you gotta actually have it
You have to
burned
take
or
it down
disposed?
there, you have to take it to the county,
Do you?
fill out a report and take it down there.
I remember years ago, we used to throw it on the burn pile and burn it. Yeah, you could destroy it by
Yeah.
burning it.
Yeah.
So miscellaneous, that's literally just kind of a little catch-all. What's the purpose of having that budget line versus just pulling out a carryover or unappropriated money?
Just in case you don't have to go through an
Reappropriate.
additional appropriation.
So you can transfer to one
Yeah.
code falls short.
Fire truck's gone, so basically, this buildings thing, we had put the 16 in here, as I recall, because we were thinking this furnaces days are numbered, and it definitely is, it's from, what, sometime in the 80s? right?
87.
I mean,
Well, during
You
a
probably-
renovation.
You probably, yeah, you probably save enough money to pay for the furnace. I mean, that thing's probably like 40% efficient if we're lucky.
That's
Right.
like Fred and I, every year we turn ours on, thinking, let's hope, I mean, Grandma Farley put that in, that's how old ours is.
If those are the ones that put the heat out. The efficient ones ain't as warm.
It feels warm. Yeah.
It takes a while to get used to the new style furnaces.
yeah,
Mine would
my
freeze
grandparents had
dead.
a fuel oil furnace that had a gigantic blower on it, I mean, you could burn your feet if you went
Stand on
south of
register.
it, but
Mine in that house is that way.
12 by whatever, 16 registers. They're like cast iron.
And that's the way some of mine are in my house, and I tell you what, when that old furnace would come on, it sounded like a jet airplane taking off, buddy, but you'd stand on the register, it'd burn your feet, and I had to get a new one. And I felt like I was freezing to death, because, I mean, that other one, they kicked the heat out of it, buddy. This one here, it puts the heat out, but just in a different manner.
It's over a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's why it's efficient.
I think we'd probably be well served to go ahead and look at doing that, especially since it's budgeted for and we haven't spent any of it this year. Let's look at doing the furnace here before winter,
Do,
and then we need to probably bump this up if we wanna do some updates in here for next year. So bump this to, I don't know, let's say
Well, I mean,
I don't know what it costs to put a bathroom in.
you would need, I mean,
And a lot.
but you could see, I mean, I'm being pretty conservative here, but I mean, we could probably easily spend $50,000 on this building.
Hopefully they, you know,
Every
hopefully,
one of these windows needs replaced except for this one.
hopefully, it's, you know, materials come
Yeah,
back
that
down
one's
too.
just-
Right now, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It has a little
Well,
bit.
what's a good place to start?
The
Being that,
wall.
being.
Well,
that-
this floor's rotted out. I mean,
Yeah.
it needs to be cut off. Everywhere where these
Is that a
floor joists go in
continuing
the
issue,
wall.
or is that an old?
Oh, I'm sure it's not getting better with age. I mean,
But I'm saying that whatever caused it, the leak or whatever.
It's water just coming in from wicket
The
to the
street.
brick, yeah. I'm sure most of these are rotted off or rotting.
What do you think? Do we bump
Should-
that to 20 or 25 and just try and do something over the next couple or 3 years?
Let's bump it to 25 and pick a project out. Like either enclosing that, you know, wall there in the office or, you know, concentrating on a bathroom or.
Well, and two, in the budget, I had put in the budget to put 10,000 in the rainy day fund. If you put, you're allowed to, transfer into the rainy day fund up to 15% of your budget. So I had put 10,000 in the rainy day fund, keep it in there. Right now, we've got 7,000 in there, a little over 7,000. That bumps that up. That is, what it's for, a rainy day fund, just in case. Just in case, you know, we have, who knows?
Different than miscellaneous, though.
Exactly, yes. The rainy day fund, you have to appropriate out of that as far as.
The reality of it is.
Come on in.
Oh, hi.
The reality of it is, too,
Hi, Annie's over there. I think she'll help
you could
you.
use some ARP money.
Kevin Spray, I'd, put on an application.
I mean,
for
we probably
water. I
could
need to pay a
because
deposit.
this is our utilities office,
Check,
you know.
okay.
Yeah, you need water, so it can
Yeah,
use that money.
If we do the furnace this year, we'll have some carryover because it's not gonna cost 16 grand for a furnace and air
I
conditioner.
sent
That'd be,
I
that'd
think I
be
emailed the
10.
application thing, so
okay.
process from
Get
the
this floor
Michigan,
repaired.
so it's been.
Do carpet,
Yeah.
we should probably we should probably work from the outside in,
That's me,
secure
like,
those windows.
See, here's the thing, too. I mean, if you guys wanna be legit, we did it last time. I mean, we really gotta get a state plan release.
Spray,
That you're moving the bathroom. I mean, I think you ought to look at something more comprehensive. I mean, ditches, paneling,
When you do a state plan release, can you stage it? So here's our overall plan, but
Then you
it's,
gotta keep,
you know,
well, once you get your whole release, they don't care.
how long it takes.
Yeah, they don't care that you piecemeal your job, but don't piecemeal the release, because then you gotta keep going back,
Right.
going back, and
Okay,
going back.
so we could do one and then take 3 years to do it all.
Well, you can take forever. I mean, once they release it, you're
So, check
It is, as long as you don't
address on it from the Michigan.
add on to the back of the building or something like that, but
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
there's a lot of.
Can we insulate Jennifer's wall over there?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Put built-in registers in the wall where you blow and put the registers in the wall instead of the floor.
Underneath my feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just, it's beyond time for an update.
Well,
here.
I mean, if you really wanted to go deep into it, there's a lot of options to make this look better and upgrade it. I mean, no, everyone thinks about it, and you're talking about HVAC, but, you know, this ceiling's like 10 feet high in here. You know? And even if you left it a drop ceiling, it could be raised.
Yeah.
I mean, so, there's just drywall, I mean, would be much more.
At a minimum, drywall walls.
Yeah,
Since
much more
some of
attractive.
this panel's messed up anyway.
Yeah,
We painted this when Bill was alive last time, so he's
And
been
we've
gone
got a
12
stack of
years.
drywall.
Yeah.
the windows, the doors, back door needs replaced.
Okay, so, do we have, are we good with going to say 25 on buildings?
We're at 16 now. Let's see where that puts us at.
it's a lot,
Yeah, it is.
but we've got these couple that we haven't spent anything out of, and you said you got a 10K rainy day. So random thing that comes up, worst case, if we had to dip into we had to move from miscellaneous to cover something, we've still got that rainy day.
And whatever we don't spend out of 16 can carry over to
Yes.
next year and go to the
Yeah.
to the 25.
We
Yeah,
need,
right now,
Come in.
He's there for me.
Sorry to interrupt you, I'll just leave this with you there, Andrew.
Okay.
Whoever is in place.
Okay.
I'll keep you updated with, when we may see that kind of stuff.
Okay. You think of anything in the next few weeks or something?
I would say at the minimum, probably at least 2, maybe 3,
Okay.
Okay?
All right, appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. Carry on.
So we're gonna up, buildings to 25? Is that what we're gonna
we
do?
gotta start making some moves that direction.
and I'm having Jim Higgins look over everything, you know what I'm saying? I've got him Gateway and stuff, and he's just kinda helping a little bit, just to make sure that, I wanna make sure that, you know, and DLGF will look at this and they'll,
That's just, we're just adjusting a couple
Yeah.
of numbers.
Yeah.
That-
So
I
I
mean, I
think
don't
we're
know,
okay.
what's he need to review it for, as long as we're not going over the total. Even if we got the same amount, even if we got a lower amount from last year, we'll have some carryover, right?
yeah, right now, our carryover, what we don't spend, like right now, we've got $155,000 to spend the rest of the year, but we don't, of course, wanna spend that, because what we don't spend will carry over, yeah, so.
Have you, okay.
Now, we will have to do an additional appropriation because of our community crossing grant money that we've got.
Right.
Because last year we budgeted in that, 225,000. Thinking the job was gonna be about what it was, but since it's gone up, we will have to do an additional appropriation. They'll have to,
Is 423 our number?
I was thinking 424.
420, maybe 421, I was thinking.
And their estimate was like 413, 414,
Hold on a
416.
second. I had that.
416.
Okay, yeah, we were awarded $338,
Right.
$643.85.
What's that make the total then?
That would make the total cost of the job, $451,525.13.
So that's what we submitted in our application? 451?
No, that, yeah, well,
Okay. I don't
Well,
know.
then
I don't have.
Then we're in really good shape.
Yeah, well, it'll reduce the cost of our grant. It's gonna reduce what we
Yeah.
pay, but it'll reduce the grant as well, so.
But that means that cash on hand in that fund is enough to, isn't it, that, it's not depleting. What does that come out of, what were the streets?
we'll take all of our MVH restricted because,
Our share's 89,000.
you know,
Is that what you said? Our share's 89,000.
no, if we used all that, we would have to come up with, 112,000. $112,881.28.
So, but right
If we
now,
used all that.
right now, we're at, let's say approximately, let's say 25%. So we still need 104.
Yeah.
So we can use out of our local roads and street, all of our MVH, and of course, so then this year, actually, we talked about putting community crossing grant, budgeting money, because we were talking, I was like, I'm not sure we're gonna get this paid for this year. I mean, depends on, you're talking when they get in, get it done, weather, whatnot. So we may end up having to pay for some of it next year. So if we put that in for next year, and we get it paid for this year, that's fine. But if we put it in for next year, then it will be there and we don't have to do an additional appropriation. Because an additional appropriation, you have to go through.
What are you saying
It's a
for?
process and you have to advertise.
pertaining only to this project.
Yes, yes.
We still need to appropriate some in 22 for this project.
No, I mean, if, we're gonna put it in there in case we don't get it paid for this year, see what I'm saying? Am I
Wouldn't
not-
it just carry over?
Well, you'd have to, it has to be in there, cause if it's not in the
Not
budget.
if there's not an appropriation.
Yeah, if it's not in there, then it won't,
Okay.
yeah. So.
Jennifer, do you have anything specific that you feel like you want or need that you don't have?
I don't think so. The crown is the big thing, because, you know, just in case it goes out.
What was the other line at the bottom? What was other? Is that rainy day?
That's
It's just other.
That's just other.
In addition to rainy day and
I like how all
miscellaneous.
these things are just something.
Four funds
Just
that are
other.
just random,
Just there.
It's just there.
Just
Okay.
parks them.
It's just there.
Cushion money.
So rainy day doesn't have a line in this.
No, rainy day's its own fund. It's got its, yeah, we've got,
It's another sheet, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes, on this page. It's
Yeah.
in here.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
rainy day, you have to appropriate out of it as far as,
If you were gonna pay on it,
if you're
something
gonna,
else.
yes, yeah.
Why couldn't you put that, other in miscellaneous?
Yeah. We need an other, a miscellaneous, and a something.
You're squirreling it away,
It's
is what you're
something.
doing. You're just kinda.
Oh, same old, you know.
So,
Sorry I asked.
Okay.
I guess you're not supposed to notice those others. That way.
You never know what might show up.
Do you have anything you want or need that you feel like you don't have, Katie?
No, it's ARP money. I mean,
Yeah.
we covered that. I mean, tractor. No.
Does anybody else have anything that they've been thinking about that they wanna work on here? I mean, some of this stuff that we've been talking about, where we might pursue some of these other grants,
Yeah, that's what I was just
but
getting.
we've gotta have a ballpark number to shoot for in the first place, and so we'll be working with
Other.
our engineers. Our engineers to try to get at
That'll be
least a
our match.
ballpark idea on a couple of these.
Jennifer, how much, was Arcadia paying their grant writer? Did you know?
I thought it was like $1,500 a month, maybe. I think it was pretty good.
And
Yeah,
does,
if they
does
can
her rate
deliver
of,
on a grant or two, though, that's probably worth it.
I was gonna say, does her rate of return more than cover that? I mean, on the grants that she gets for that town?
I don't know, I'd have
Well,
to,
I mean- Kleinpeter does all that stuff.
Oh,
He just goes for Okra, though, right?
He does other stuff.
Oh, I thought he said he was Okra only when he.
I talked to him about DNR, you know, I
Okay.
don't know, maybe he was just talking about it, but he was talking about DNR money for our park. I
cool.
don't know, you have to ask him. I could-
Well, yeah, if we can utilize him to get, grants for, the,
Well, that's-
the speed signs
Also
and stuff.
talking with Fleece Vanderbrink now too, so we're working with 2 engineering firms
Okay.
now instead of 1, and they do that kind of stuff too. They get set up for grants, and I don't know if they actually do grant writing, but, we have that avenue to look at now too, but, yeah, I don't have any problem with working with 10 different people,
Multiple.
you know what I mean? Especially if some of them will do it on a contingency,
Mhm.
Uh,
Consignment, or commission.
Yeah,
You get a commission, a part of the grant that you get for us.
so ultimately, hopefully we keep working towards that, but I didn't have anything immediate that I was thinking about budgeting for other than, like I said, this building. I mean, we gotta do something with the park, and hopefully we can do something in 22 with the park. But I think that we're better served to go after some kind of a grant to do that than to try to start throwing cash at it, because we'll deplete our match very quickly, so.
I'd like to see us get one mobile speed thing, you know, that we can move around town, leave on different streets. I'd like to see us get one of those.
You know, one of the long-range visions that I have is, I would like before, whenever my termination comes to this board, I would like to get it done prior to that. And that's, we need to do something about the sewage plant there, or the wastewater, the lagoon. I know it's coming, we're gonna have to increase that down there, enlarge it, which means we have to purchase more land. And my vision is to find out if there is some land available down there in that area, so we can enlarge our operation. It may not happen this year, or certainly not this year, but maybe next year, or maybe within the next 5 years, but it's gonna happen. And,
We need to get the land while we can.
yes, that's my point, Murray, is if there are land available down there, I think it's essential that if the town buys it. We're only one of 2 people in the state, I believe, that even has these kind of bonds. is what I understand.
Yeah.
I heard we was just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
But
we're not,
they're going out. I mean,
Yeah, they're going out,
Being
and-
replaced by other types of plants and stuff, and if we can keep ours,
Only because you let your engineer sell it to you.
yeah, fair enough.
That's,
well, I'm just saying, as far as I know, we're gonna stay with the system we're on. We ain't,
yeah.
so that means sooner or later, because of growth and population and whatever, we're gonna have to increase that area down there. And I think it's imperative that we find any land down there available. I wanna be sure we have the cash on hand to purchase it.
Which I think our sewer has a fair amount of money in it.
Yeah, and sewer, you know, I mean, in our rates that are in there, there's, you know, additional appropriation and stuff for that.
Where's the sewer? How much we got into sewer, Murray? I can't.
Working on it. Let's see here.
Sewer utility operating, is that?
Well, that's only one part of it, but, there's more than that.
The land we're getting ready to buy at the water plant will come out of the water. Unless,
It comes from other miscellaneous or something?
unless you put a mini bar on it that you could use for your sewage, then we could do it out of the bar.
There's a lift station on it,
Yeah,
just saying,
there is.
There is.
it's wastewater. So if this were for some reason depleting our
Well,
water
it's gonna
too
take a lot,
much,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know, pick an arbitrary number, a little bit, should we? You wouldn't wanna do too much if we end up being able to
Right, I think
deal on land out here. So some of these don't have anything in them, so they're showing a negative balance, so I don't know how this is all structured.
oh, you're looking at the appropriation.
Uh-huh. Cause they didn't have any
Right,
appropriations.
yeah,
But in any case, if we just look at the sewer operating, I mean, we're 141,000 right now. But I know there's more than that.
54,000 in depreciation. There's 87,000 or 85,000 in water depreciation.
How much is the dump truck bed?
Like 20 grand.
20 grand?
Yeah. It's actually pretty close to that, like 19,200 some dollars or something like that. Yeah.
So they come out of water and sewer depreciation, right?
Well, local roads and streets,
So local roads and streets.
stormwater.
Probably
With
swamp
this-
to keep the local roads and street for paving.
With this paving we're doing right now, this year, there will be some places that will probably need some stone, or we'll have to pay for striping, paint, and all that stuff too, so. Probably half of that difference between, in our match from full amount to what it's projected to be now will be used up, I imagine. Like $4 grand of it, just, I guess we figure on that.
There's our sewer, there's our bonds, 5,400. So stormwater's 50,000. How's there still $835 left in SRF from 2017? We used that. We bought the flush hitch. Remember? We bought the hitch?
No,
That
that,
800 is supposed to go towards that.
no, that was the, we've still got, the $699 in sewer utility reserve was
No.
part of that.
No, I'm talking about the SRF water forgivable loan from 2017. The hydro hitch, that $835 is supposed to be spent towards the hydro hitch. And we sent lettering, got it approved. So it didn't get paid for out of that?
Evidently it did not. I'll have to check to see where I paid it out of. I think I paid it out of,
Just water?
no. I'll have to check.
Yeah. That 835 is supposed to go to that.
Or the $699 in the sewage utility reserve, it's just in there and it can be transferred. It can actually be transferred back into the sewer. I'll have to check, see where I can brought that out.
I was gonna ask you about, if we found any property north of the sewage pond or east of the sewage pond.
Be west. East is the
Well,
creek. Yeah.
if you go east, you have to cross the creek, is what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
which we won't.
And I was
The people
just
that own
wondering-
it will never sell it. Jane owns that.
Well, I was just wondering, suppose it did, let's just say it did. What kind of legal ramifications would you have crossing that ditch?
They're not gonna, it's a regulated drain, they're not gonna let us, we have to go west. See, the worst case scenario for us is, if we can't acquire land next to us is the only, it's the only option for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the town got to some kind of a situation where you couldn't, you would have to remediate your plant, get rid of a pond, you'd have to build a mechanical plant. I mean, it would be astronomical.
Can you go deeper on the ponds that are there?
No, because they're facultative ponds, so the depth, the thing with the facultative pond is the depth is part of what makes it work.
Ah.
You're not just holding water and treating it, you gotta have light penetration, air penetration. Now, you probably could go deeper if you added aeration or did something like that, but there again, you're getting into big cost prohibitive money. I mean, we have the lowest our treatment plant has the lowest operating cost of any plant there is. I mean, trickling filter would be next, and there's not very many of those left.
Would 10 acres be ideal, or are we looking less?
I would make it bigger. I mean, I don't know, you know, I looked at that GIS, and this is just a total guess, but I guess there's about 18 acres there next to us. And if you put a road around it, you need an access road like we have now, and you'd have a road from the plant down. I mean, that's a good part, we don't need the other way in.
Yeah, we don't
But-
need road frontage or anything.
And the thing of it is, it's not just, you gotta do like theoretical detention time, so let's say you put a 15-acre pond in, made it basically as big as you could make it. Our current plant is about 10 acres, they're a little less than 5-acre ponds, surface area. But it's not going to, like if you put a 10-acre pond in, that's not gonna double our capacity. It's not how it really works, because then you're taking your primary cell, secondary cell, and you're creating what they call a polishing pond.
Right.
So it's gonna be like,
Third.
no, it's gonna be like triple. Adding a bigger primary cell is going to raise your,
If you were to do aeration, could
it's
we
gonna
do
raise
it
it more.
just the
You put-
primary?
Yeah, I don't know.
Help that work even better?
Yeah, I mean, air is always good. I mean, it's big for the operation of the plant, you know,
Well,
but. And the other thing of it is, of course, you never know what's gonna happen. But, I mean, if this deal with the armory really worked out, they will, I mean, that project will probably cover this, you know, expansion. And we're gonna gain some capacity back by the sewer project we're getting ready to do.
Would still be, you think would still be overrated, current rated capacity? But we would.
I don't know, when we droughted out here last month, when we before all that rain came, we dropped down to about where we needed to be, so, hopefully, it'll work. You know, and I don't know, you know, the engineers may do the math on that, instead of being one single cell, they may take it and break it. I mean, it may become a 4-cell
So
system.
they like,
Yeah.
what we've got it duplicated again up on the hill?
It's possible. I mean, there's a lot of math involved there on your detention times.
Well, either way, I'm with you. I think we need to
Is that
actively work
land-
towards land acquisition. I don't know. We
is
need
that
to talk
land
to
now
them.
being cultivated, or
It's
is it
farmed.
woods,
You
or
know, it's farm.
farm? And as far as you know, you've heard rumors that it may be for sale, am I correct? in
No,
saying that?
never, no. We know who owns it.
Oh, okay.
She would probably sell it. It's been,
No one's ever made her a real fair offer.
she split part of it off up front and it went to another family member. I don't know if it was sold, given, I don't know what transpired there, but it's a very odd shaped property. So it goes in like this. I mean, if you look at an aerial map, it looks this wide, but this part here is owned by somebody. And then they broke a part off where they built the house. So basically you got a strip that goes way back, and then at the back, there's a big square. And that's what's right next to the north end
Of the power
plant, because there is Vaughn Sharp's house, and then he owns the field behind him. So half of our plant is with one person, a little less than half actually. And then there's the big section that is on our northwest side.
Well, you know, I would like to have somebody get in touch with the rightful owners just to see if they would be interested in selling it.
She lives here in town.
And, well, I don't know the lady, I don't know nothing about her, and
Does anybody here have any sort of relationship with her?
Who is she?
It's bad, I
It's
don't
been
know.
good, yeah, so I mean, nurse with a little kid, and parents own the hardware. Her cousins have been, it was in her parents' family, they've owned it forever.
do you know her, John? You've been
I know
around
of her,
long.
I don't know personally, I know of her.
I mean, I'm fine with talking to her, but I think if somebody knows her, could just float the general idea out there first before we start getting too specific on anything.
Say something to her. I see her all the time. Ask her.
I think that'd be a good place to start.
I think, you know, I was looking at Tipton now has her GIS up and running, so it's kind of nice. I'm just guessing it's about, the whole parcel's like 28 acres.
Yeah, we don't even need, we just need it.
No, but I'm saying when you take off the whole chunk that goes out front, because that property's really deep, I think it's somewhere down around 15 or 18 acres right there. So, yeah. But for us, I mean, it really is the only option. I mean, the next thing would be mechanical plant.
You don't want a mechanical plant.
Oh, I know.
You're talking about increasing the rates in order to cover all the pumps and the motors and electrical and everything that you don't have to deal with right now. It's a major increase.
Well, it's the maintenance.
That's the maintenance, and then, like I said, their
Daily operation.
Get all the daily operations, your labs, like I say, there's a lot of pumps and motors and equipment that goes in on that.
Well, I mean, the other thing it's doing is, I mean, everybody knows there's gonna be more housing here someday. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, you know, if we could buy this land and go ahead and get, you know, a grant to put in another pond or whatever, it might get IDEM off our backs on this, you know, early band warning. If we had the capacity, additional capacity out there, that's what they're pushing at.
Additional funds for annexation.
That's a fair point.
Jennifer, is that what other miscellaneous is?
Annexation.
Fall under legal. Would that be
Yeah.
under legal or?
I would think legal with myself.
I mean,
Well, let's bump our legal back up to 35 then.
You wanna keep it to 35?
Yeah, because we've been talking about this annexation for so long, we haven't really pulled the trigger on it.
I mean, is it feasible to say that anybody that gets our utilities, we should annex? I mean, I know we can't annex across the county line, but is it fair to say that whoever's receiving our services should be under our annexation?
So here's the deal on the water, and I haven't read the sewer application, but I think it's the same. Of course, when you sign up for utilities, you agree to voluntary annexation.
Okay,
John Call put that in there. So anybody that's on our utilities that abuts us contiguously would be eligible to, you know, be annexed in, for sure.
and how big an area right now do we provide for that we do not have under our annex?
Acre wise, I don't know. I mean, it's
A lot.
significant.
It's a lot.
It's significant. I'm gonna say 5, 10, 15, 20, probably about 35 acres maybe.
And would it be feasible to annex?
See what else.
Yeah, and the thing, you know, in letting people know that it's in our ordinance, so when we annex, no one's zoning classification changes.
Right,
So, well, I mean, that's all, everybody's big fear. So like if somebody had horses, even though they came in, as long as they kept them, they could keep them.
okay.
You know, it doesn't change.
Practically speaking, for somebody that would come in our county, it's basically that their only possible change would be ordinance enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So their standard for their property would increase slightly.
But
Other than that, it just allows us to get their tax revenue.
Okay, so how difficult would it be to go ahead and annex the whole deal if we're doing it at all?
that's what you wanna do.
Okay.
Yes, one time.
Draw some kind of map out that everything you could get in
Okay,
and do it all in one.
okay, so the monies to do that, is that, I don't have any idea.
It'd be legal, advertising, I mean, I'm throwing a crazy number out, but, you know, when we did the subdivision, it wasn't that bad, so I don't know, $8,000-10,000, something like that, maybe? Man, that's.
Miscellaneous.
I asked the attorney, yeah.
Well, that'll take care of this other.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, do we need to figure in a little extra pad for that if we're gonna try and do that this year? And where,
Well, and the thing, you know,
Even though it's supposed to be done a couple of years ago.
Well, we increased our leave from 30 to 35. That's what Murray wanted to do.
We
Well,
still
that's
have
what I'm saying.
miscellaneous
I
and
mean,
the others
I
that
don't
we
know
can
how
draw
much it
out
costs,
of, and then
but-
rainy day fund too.
right,
It's
I
not
I think this,
negative
I think it's something we need to pursue.
I agree with you. We need to get that taken care of.
So, okay, so then what benefits
wanna-
does the town get from having all this extra property annexed? Does it mean more tax money?
yeah, taxes.
Okay, so,
'Cause
so
right
how does
now-
that work with the property tax cap? I mean,
The same as it does for the county.
okay,
It's just going to a different taxing unit, because
okay,
that's the problem now. We have all these properties. We have properties, they get to their home by driving on our street that we plow, we salt, we
right.
pave. They're on our utilities. I mean, but then all the tax money goes there.
okay.
And still, I know
gets
you
us to
guys
us.
had some
Okay,
conversation
so this
about
is something we should be pursuing.
in some conversation about it, we really need, before we do that, we really need to get Central and Morris. Or Morris is
Mark
as
come
much.
in, you know, and said, let
Yeah.
him know what we need to do
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah.
so.
I don't think he's followed up to my last email, but I'll have to check. I got a little behind on emails over the last week or so.
He's gonna be coming here.
Well, and what did the LU attorneys, they were supposed to do all that, what,
They were doing- so
two,
part of
3
it's
years
the-
ago?
They've
Done a lot of stuff.
It's a multi-step deal, so they did like the contiguity study and some of the other stuff that you gotta have beforehand. But then we never got to the part of actually trying to do the annexing because 2020 was
And
2019 was the year before census year, and you can't do annexation
well,
in
I'll
a
tell
year
you,
like that or something like that, and then 2020 was 2020.
another property we need to bring in that just could help the town in the future we need to bring a water plant in. So we buy this property.
So that property's in, right, or no?
I think
The property
the
we
property
buy.
we're buying is in, but we're not.
Right.
So I'm saying when we combine and do all this, that boundary needs to be drawn, because it
Right.
would come, it would jump the train tracks, go to the marina, bring the marina in. So, just because, I mean, it affects us in no way, but if anything changes in the future, we could potentially have some other property button to us. I mean, there could be, development
To the
those-
west or
well,
the
west
south.
south and west of our water plant, so,
Really, that whole
a lot of.
Arcadia Road, 286, that whole thing
Yeah, it's possible.
seems like a logical extension.
Now, I don't hear very well, so but did we mention anything about, a couple of board meetings back, we went and had, you mentioned about
Condition on
getting the
Jennifer's
county.
hot.
It's freezing.
You could see if we can give us that,
Jennifer's
land
overdone.
down there.
I know, me too.
We want to annex it in
Well,
the.
the roads.
The roads.
streets.
The roads, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, we-
It's gonna happen, it's just, we're trying to figure out how.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm in talks with them about it.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. So it's definitely just a question of when and how, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think it's just a matter of getting our attorney to draw the paperwork up, submit to them, and have them do it.
We need to get with ground rules, if they still exist. And have them
Oh,
make
update the
it-
map.
Yeah, because some of these have changed. Maybe where the marina is.
That is, then if they do this
And it's-
north end of the subdivision here,
Yeah,
that would change that.
and can they draw a line on here that's town limits too?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's just the whole building jurisdiction.
Right.
Yeah, they could draw city limits.
Put a city limits line on it.
Yeah.
I got a question to ask everybody. It's not necessarily on the budget per se, money, but I'd like to know, does anybody have a vision for next year as far as something they'd like to involving the town? I was thinking, we talked and talked and talked, we're all blue in the face about the ball diamond, what we wanted to do with the